Hey, we are sitting down with Jacob Godar from Scooters Lawn Care, several $1 million a year lawn and landscape company. We are going to be talking about door hanger design and implementation. I think a lot of times we focus a lot on what the door hanger should look like and not where it should go. And that is just as important. Choosing the houses that you're dropping these on is just as important as having a good design. So Jacob, you recently did a video called How to Market in 2024 Without Spending a Dime. And you briefly touched on door hangers in there, but then you felt like it was getting away from the spirit of the video because you would have to spend money to get door hangers printed. And I thought that would be a good jumping off point for us to talk about spending a little bit of money on your marketing, but not, door hangers are never going to break somebody's bank. So tell me a little bit about what y'all have been doing this season with door hangers.
Yeah, first off, thanks for having me on. I love getting on and chat with you about anything marketing. But for us, we've made a couple interesting tweaks this year. And it's funny that we're talking about door hangers because I just had someone comment. I want to backtrack it a little bit, right? We started off with a normal door hanger where everybody hangs the door hanger on the knob. It's got the big hole in it. And I've shot different videos about door hangers for a long time. And someone just commented yesterday about, hey, you could just get the door hangers with the holes in them instead of doing the rubber band and the drilling a hole in it or whatever the case may be. And I politely commented back, I don't remember if that video said this in there, but we got rid of the hole because it just eats up room for copy and they all blow off anyway, right? And so the rubber band was the next phase of that. And now we've kind of even transitioned away from that. And we'll talk about that as well. But door hangers have always worked for us, but I just feel as if it's something that we've kind of lacked consistency. When we have the opportunity to do a bunch, we do a bunch, and then we draw back. And so this year, our biggest push is to really stay consistent with door hangers. And one of the big tweaks and more of just like the putting it out process is we haven't done it in Illinois yet, but here in Florida, we've added an electric scooter. So we are doing these on a scooter. Yes, I mean, the person has to wear a helmet and they have to be properly prepared. I'll see guys go out and do it and they don't have the things that they need. So we need to write a better SOP. We've been kind of seeing what worked, but you've got the scooter, you've got your gear, your helmet, the scooter to just verify where it's been. And so we can see everything. We've also hardwired it with GPS so we can look on the map and see the whole line of where it's went to. So it makes it very easy to hold people accountable, but also see, okay, cool, we can look at this week. We went here, here, and here. We can visually see that on a map of where we went. So it makes it easier to canvas and then have the historical data of where it's been. But the other preparation part is like, we'll have somebody go and be, oh, I ran out of door hanger. Well, you're not doing it right. Let's take a huge box and you also bring a backpack, right? Because now you're able to go so much faster. You need to be able to carry stuff with you because just a little stack like this isn't enough. And honestly, if you're putting them, you don't have a scooter, you still need a backpack so people can cover a bunch of ground and they're not constantly just going back to the truck, because it was always an issue with us of to be effective. And if you're walking with door hanger and you walk out of the truck and you're alone, you need to walk down one side of the street, jump over, walk down the other side of the street, make a full loop through the whole time you're doing it. But we would see things of like people do both sides, then walk back and then do both sides and walk back, and not consistently hanging, creating dead time, and or do a bunch, not move the truck, then have to walk to the new spot, and like all these different things that just waste time, right? If we'd see two people get out of a truck and they would both go down one way. So that means the whole way back, they're not able to do anything, where they could have at that same exact time, they could have done both directions the same way. So the door hanger scooter has been awesome because now instead of having to worry about do one side, come back, as long as it's not a busy street, we can just go out and we can just ping back and forth between the house. So as we go down the street, we're canvassing the whole road in its distance.
So nice.
And we're doing, my guess would be, at minimum, we're doing double the door hanger someone walking can do. So every one person can do two people's work. I would say it's more. Our rough count the other day was before noon. Somebody had put out 400. And that's a lot. My goal, my quick math was if we were doing 500 a day, and based off, as we start tracking that, if our close rate was right, these were really going to be one of our biggest lead sources outside some of the other paid ads and just social media presence and website as well, right? But so So that's kind of some of the tweaks we've been making this year. And I talked about getting away from the doorknob hole. And that was something that used to just frustrate me, that we put them on and it always ended up being like trash. They'd fall on the ground everywhere. And since we've transitioned here to Florida work, the setup of the front of house, it seems a lot different. In Illinois, we still do a lot of rubber band. Here in Florida, we've pretty much eliminated the rubber band because so many doors are like a high-end handle where there's the push-down button, and or there's a lanai screen before you even get to the doors. It's like a screened-in port. And all of those have a loop where you just fold the thing over and stick it in it.
Yeah,
now you don't have to drill a hole. You don't have to do anything. And honestly, if there's a crack if it's a lanai screen, you can just put it in the door and shut it on the door. Like, nobody's going to care about that. So we've done a lot of fold over the corner, push them into a door, put them under the handle, however they will go, as long as you're not going to like damage something. And for total transparency, we've had a couple that were even folded over in a big handle and the door had been freshly painted or painted in short enough time that it peeled the door. You're going to have costs of doing stuff, right? Like, we had to pay to have a door repaired, and it is what it is. You know, it's a part of, just like anything else, there will be issues, but we really had great. I got a big tackle. I was measuring them to count. You know, the door hanger is oversized. You know, we used to use these really little baby ones, and kind of some of my belief or my gut feeling on the instinct of these is, beyond just having the pictures of people so it's more noticeable and it's not just words, it's more connection creating with our actual a keen photo across the top. One, they're bigger than the average door hanger. Two, I like the idea of mailers and things like this, but mail always ends up piled in with another stack of mail. When you find these on your door, it's separated from everything else. So it has allowed us to, one, really directly target wherever we want to go, and two, kind of differentiate from some of the other pieces out there because it is so much bigger. And you asked, like, how do we pick where we're going? It depends, right? Like, my general thing is there's one zip code in our area that outproduces everything by far, where the majority of our revenue is generated. So we spend a lot of time focusing in the strongest zip code in our service area. But we also know that, like, we can only hit that area so many times. Like, if you've hit it over and over and over and over and over, we've had people, we door hanger in some areas so much that we've had people like actually call the office and say, hey, enough door hangers. We've got it like 8 times. We don't need any more. And you're going to get that kind of feedback from anything you do. But so we look at that hot area first. We really hit it. Once we feel like we've gassed that out for some amount of time, we'll look to other areas that we really like or would like to do work in. For me, it's a density thing. Here in Coral, there's certain areas where the houses aren't all built out, right? So there's a house, 3 empty lots, house. I want to be able to maximize. I want to hit house because it's a numbers game. The more you get out, the more calls you will get. So we are looking for areas that are dense, but meet kind of like the clientele we would have. And for the most part, we work over the whole city. There's no rough area other than maybe the one thing we really try to stay away from is like duplexes and condo areas, because, you know, most of those people don't even own the home. But that's kind of been our strategy. Pick our highest revenue producing area and then look at other areas we want to be in that kind of match our ideal client. You know, they're going to have a home that's $500,000 plus, or do we hang to a lot of homes that aren't? Yeah. But typically if we're moving to a new area, the more you're getting to $500,000, $800,000 home, the more add-on they're going to be making. And our door hangers, our business might be called Godar Lawn Care, but what we're really shooting for is project, right?
Yeah.
And all kinds of people take maintenance and want maintenance quotes, but what we're seeking is the project. And that's why we're shooting toward like a higher income and higher cost per home. Is kind of more of an ideal target area.
So do y'all call out like all of the services on the door hanger?
No, I mean, ours purely, there was so much. I remember back in the day we kind of did, and that was my first one. I was printing off little flyers. That's really the first marketing I ever did, was print off flyer. And they printed off like an actual printer that we had. But we would list everything, and we just kind of detune that. We're very specific. There'll be a lighting door hanger. There'll be a Christmas hanger door hanger. This is just,
okay.
Are you looking for a landscaper, right? So it's all about landscape of your dream. What do our clients say? It's got reviews listed on there, more reviews on the back, top tier rated landscape company with over 470 online reviews, 100% satisfaction guarantee. It's all landscaping because that's what we're looking for. And, you know, I think one of those general ideas is to just list all the services. So hopefully to hit on something they need, but this is more just really specific and pointed in toward this one thing. And we are lucky. Like if you're trying to sell mowing too, this has been a blessing and a curse. Our name, Scooters Lawn, right? Like lawn care is in the name. So because of that, without us even having to market for lawn care, we get lawn care. Gotcha. We actually, it's scream from the mountaintops that we do everything, and still people don't. You still talk to people all the time that are like, "Well, we didn't know you even did all the landscaping, you did all this lighting, and did all these other things." I'm like, "Well, that's maintenance in Florida is 34% of our business. It's a small part of what we do in the big picture, and you still have to fight to let people know that's not the only thing."
Yeah. So I know like Cape Coral is much more like when we've talked about why you decided to plant the second location there, it was that you have this big swath of homes. Like it's just homes end to end and they're all like pretty ideal customers.
Yep.
Is your strategy for Doorhangers different in Illinois?
So in Illinois, we don't make as much of an aggressive push as of right now. It's same thing. We go in and out of being how serious we are about doing them, all based off of the work volumes. And so we're always actively pushing to talk to the team about, hey, we need to at least be doing a little bit like our overarching message. Like we're talking about like high volume of door hangers is what we're kind of talking about today.
Yeah.
But our overarching message is landscape crews, any crew doing some kind of project where you're there for some amount of time. You need to put a yard sign in the yard, and you need to at least do the 3 neighbors across the street and 2 in the neighbor next door. So that's like at least we need to do that. And we kind of do that stuff everywhere because we're trying to gain density in the areas we are at. In Illinois, it is more specific on like, you're right. Cape Coral is just like everything is almost the ideal client. Every area has a brand new home in it. Even if there's a lesser home next to it, there's a $500,000 home right next to it. In Illinois, it's very spotty. There's rough neighborhood. There's stuff that we would never do work in. And honestly, there's a couple areas where we don't even want to go invest into. So we just are more specific towards the high end areas. And in Illinois, kind of like the West End's the nice part of town. And so we have, back to the original thing, what are the zip codes that produce a lot? And if I was going to immediately go look for something, I would try to go to the area that's producing everything and make it produce more, because there's no way you're servicing every house in that area.
Yeah. What kind of response rate would you want people targeting? Because they're going to be, designing their own door hanger or paying somebody like me to do it. What should they expect to get out of a door hanger?
Well, I've heard a lot of people talk about like 1%. I think that's really wishful thinking. I think probably less. But even if it was 0.001% and the numbers mathed out the way we were playing the other day, it would still, as long as you do enough, right? Like if you do, I did door hangers today and you did an hour of door hangers. Well, I mean, yeah, you put some stuff out. You really didn't do that much. And, I did 60 door hangers today. Well, yeah,
I'm under attack.
Yeah, but it's not, well, I'm not knocking you, but it's not that much, right? Like you need volumes of them. So if you put out 1,000, like you're only you make what if you get 1%? That's not a whole lot, right? Is 1% of 1,000 that's 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like in calls. Yeah, I'm only good at math with the calculator, but once we surpass the calculator, I'm really good with numbers. But so only 10 calls. And who knows how many are going to land? Well, I'm going to say that it's probably like, it could be 1/10 of that because it could be a fraction of a percent. That's why that number needs to be so high. And that's why overall, and it's not like this stuff doesn't happen instantly too. You put out 1,000 door hangers this week. Well, those people might not call you for 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 4 months. Who knows? People keep stuff forever. I was looking at, so in Florida, we always get leads every month. from Doorhangers. We probably get 15 to 20, and we're not the best at like staying on top of it. We make it like 1 week where we push really hard, then it's sporadic, then maybe one more week we push really hard. We're transitioning into staying really consistent. The second we math that out and we see that, wow, that worked really, really well, and we should just start kind of hiring a team to do it, that's what we'll do. It's my gut feeling that that's where we'll be. But it's not like we're lacking on work. It's another piece. We're trying to build out the perfect machine where we know we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, and we can hammer all the time, and we can go to whatever level we want to be. And the power of door hangers is that we can just go to wherever and start doing them there too, and expand them. So yes, big numbers game. You've got to put out a lot of them to get the response. And if I look at Illinois, it hasn't got any of this so far this month. Door hangers didn't hardly done any of the month before. Where I'm talking about that long trail effect, the 2 months prior to that, they didn't do any door hangers, or it didn't get any leads off door hangers because they weren't hardly doing them. They're so busy. But they had new clients from door hangers. So people had held on for at least 1 month or 2 months, and then decided to call all of a sudden off of an old door.
Yeah, that's that. When you're in front of people all the time, like you guys are big, so they're seeing your trucks, they're seeing uniforms, they're seeing digital ads, and then they have this door hanger that they've held on to. Like that is, they were aware of you, so when they needed the service, then they were like, oh, this is who we call, obviously. So we've kind of talked about like where and how to do door hangers. Is there anything that you're like, this has to be on the door hanger?
I mean, if it's anything that has to be on the door hanger, I think that people buy from people, and you're trying to create connection. So as much as I think that some of the companies that are doing like I don't even know what you call it, like the little avatar as a person, that is the face of the company. As much as I like that, and I like it looks clean, I just think that there's something to be said for, hey, here's the group of people that are going to do my work. You're potentially the owner. It doesn't have to be the owner. It can be the salesperson, be whoever, but it's this connection. Because so I would be on, when I was doing all the sales here in Florida, I would be on all the yard side, and people would know me just from the yards. Oh, hey, I was at a house finishing a quote, and they're like, hey, are you the guy on that yard sign? Can you please come look at our house next? And I just had a collared shirt on. They just saw my face and then put 2 and 2 together. So I think faces are freaking huge. I think that you should have some kind of satisfaction guarantee, and you should probably list that on there because 1, create connection with people. 2, try to remove pain points, right? Everybody's biggest fear is, okay, I hire these people and they do a shit job. Like they get paid. It's a $5,000 job. We pay them half and then we never hear from them. I currently got the same situation going on a roof, right? Like they did half the job, paid half, maybe half, and I just have never heard from them again. And that's what people don't want to have to go through. So if we kind of cross those 2 barriers, I think that that's great. And then making it easy to contact, right? A very clear phone number, very clear website, QR codes to, okay, cool. I'm just going to scan that real quick and have that quick transition. I do love that these have, just looking at them, just looking at all the reviews, very personal and professional. Jacob offered fantastic communication throughout the project. His entire staff trained, really responsible, great communication, excellent vision and suggestions, and creative and solving problems. That, with this thing's tying together, and I didn't design. I'm by no means a designer. I'm just looking at it. I'm pointing out the things that I like about this face connection, removing pain points with the guarantee, the ease to get some kind of service through some means of submitting or calling, and then social proof. You look at all these people. There's 4 people on the front, then there's 5 people on the back that are all kind of talking about this resounding customer service thing, which is now speaking to our biggest thing we lean on for differentiation in our industry.
Yeah, I like the testimonials. I would not have ever thought to put that many, but that is, yeah, I mean, social proof is important. As you were like laying out the different elements that y'all are hitting there, it reminded me of like Dan Kennedy mapping out how you write a sales letter.
Yeah.
Except that this is like much nicer to look at than a wall of text. Yeah, man. I think that is a lot for people to chew on. If this was helpful, please make sure that you leave a like down below, you subscribe, We'll get Jacob back on in the future for sure. And I'm going to be over on his channel. So make sure that you're subscribed over to Jacob Godar on YouTube, and you will be able to see that interview as well.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, of course, man. Always great to chat.